Alright guys, so I had a good opportunity to make a video here about how estimates work. So I'm sure if you guys follow us on any social media platform, everybody's familiar with seeing all of the comments saying price, 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 price. Um, and of course we don't give price comments or comments that are have anything to do with price because it's we'd be lying to customers. It has nothing to do with anything they'd want done. It's misleading people and whatnot. But I had a great opportunity because we also have people. We have a formal estimate request. It's super easy to use. I might show you guys what it looks like in this video. Like, it's so easy to use, but a lot of customers refuse to actually use it and they find it difficult. And it literally just asks for your information and basically what you want. So if it is too difficult for somebody to use, then they're not our kind of customer anyway, considering it literally just asks like, who are you and what do you want done? Um, but we always go like we want to know as much as possible before we give an estimate because we're going to do an estimate tailored to that project. Like, it's going to involve like the customer needs, things the customer wants, custom things they might want, material selections, the condition of their parts. We have a lot of idiots throwing in Google images, screenshots, and stuff and not showing us what they want to have worked on. That's wild to me because I don't really care about Google images. I care about what we're going to work on. Um, but I had this great opportunity to make a video because I tell people, small selections like condition of your parts and a different material for upholstery can be a very severe price difference, and you might get a similar appearance with two different materials but spend thousands of dollars difference. Um, and I strongly believe, you'll never convince me otherwise, that if we can't go over these details on step number one of a customer or potential customer contacting to be able to build an estimate tailored to what they have going on, then what's the point of doing it at all? Because then you can mislead somebody by giving them a vague bullshit price that has to do with what our last customer John did to their project, or a Google image or general idea, and that's, you're never gonna get a price that's even remotely close to what your project's gonna be by asking those questions. But let me jump in here. I took some screenshots of emails and stuff and blurred out like the email address and everything because it's an excellent example of what I mean. So stay tuned here. I'm gonna flip the camera onto screen recording to show you guys. So I'm going to show you guys some stuff in here having to do with this customer. And before I continue, I do want to say he's been very easy to work with. He is very clear when he answers questions. I ask him questions. He politely responds. It's been a good experience. Nothing wrong has happened. Nothing frustrating has happened. It's just an example. And I'll confirm and kind of go into further of what I'm trying to explain after I go over this stuff. But I took screenshots of everything, and for privacy reasons, I'm not going to show the guy's name in the email screenshots. But in his emails, in one of them anyway, an early on email, he referenced how he wanted his seats to be patterned out like these ones, and that he kind of wanted the truck to have like a westerny type theme on the inside. And we're getting somewhere already with these types of details that he's giving. Um, but then, and a little bit later, he sent a picture of this. This is of a GMC truck, and he's definitely using his imagination because what we do is all custom work. There is no list of options. Real world possibilities and your imagination are more or less the limitations. Not, let me look at a folder and see what you've done in the past, and those are my options. That's something that people get confused about when it comes into doing this type of work. And this customer is definitely using his imagination, and I love it. Um, but I asked him, I'm like, hey, that leather the side of the seats and everything appear to be brown plastic, and the leather is like a reddish orange color, was what I observed, and you guys can see that too. But I went to Google Images to get a different image to take a look at the leather, and it's a solid color. Now that's not a problem, but of course now I'm asking the guy, hey, what do you want for a leather? Do you want something distressed or solid color? And I explained to him what I saw, and then he said distressed. So again, another question, we're getting further and more clarity in the process, so I can give him a better estimate. And then I had to ask him, okay, well, the plastics appear brown in the GMC truck, but the other truck you reference has black. What would you prefer? He says black. Not a problem. Again, easy questions, which for some reason a lot of people have a hard time answering. Um, and I asked enough questions, got enough info. I have to make him an estimate here soon. And then, as you can see here, I sent him an email and I said, hey, before I send you build you an estimate, here's a picture of a bunch of samples we have of distressed leathers. I want him to pick something out, mostly because I can do a better estimate that way. And most leathers, so everything comes in collections from the suppliers. Every collection has a different price tag on it. Um, and that price tag can be hundreds of dollars different per hide. We do only use premium top shelf European hides from 2 different suppliers when it comes to leathers, but they all have different price tags on them. And those sometimes can be drastic price tags. But you can see this email here. I asked him those questions. And of course, here's some samples that I sent him, all sorts of pictures. And for reference, this leather right here that you can see my little cursor overing, the one that's on the top in this here, that's the leather in the truck that he referenced we did. That's this one here. And when he said that when he sent the GMC one, and that was a reference, but he wanted diamond stitching in the seats, a pattern the same, similar idea. I was thinking personally he would probably choose something like this to get closer to the color of the GMC, but with black plastic, but with the diamond stitching. That was what I thought, but we can't assume. A lot of people are asking us for basic ass prices, and it's like I can either assume and hope everything goes well, or I can just ask the question. And it really baffles me how people refuse to work with us to answer these questions because it's too much effort for them. Um, God forbid we get an estimate that's a really good estimate built to their project. Um, but you can see all these. So I had this picture. This is just a screenshot. So this is the same one. The last one we had this. These are 2 different things as well. So I'm thinking, maybe he might choose this or this, or I didn't think he'd choose any of these, but I sent him anyway. But I was thinking, like, follow my cursor here, one of these 3 at the top, or like this guy here. But this is what he sent back. He sent this one right here. Now, it is similar to this leather. 2 different suppliers, 2 different collections, 2 very, 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 like, I can't stress this enough, very different price tags of what that leather costs. Now, you can't really see this in these pictures, but in real life, this one, or this leather here, is a little bit more on the brown side. This one's a little bit more on the tan side. The pictures make them look close to identical, but they're really not. And of course, if I were to just plop the pictures up here, you could pause the video, probably zoom in and see the differences. But in my screenshots here is where you can't. But the images themselves, you could see those differences. So what I'm getting at is I could have assumed and picked a distressed brown leather, like one of these, or this number 2 guy here in the middle, and could have given him a price off of that, which, again, the price tag of these 3, very different than these 3. And this is the one he circled on, which is also extremely different from any of these in this little pan flip thing here. And I did the math. I calculated it because I'm working on his estimate. The estimated amount of leather it would need to do his Bronco would be close to 4 hides, and we have to buy it for full hides. So 4 hides to do all the upholstery in it. Between this leather and any of these, because again, he used the other truck we did as a reference. So if I assumed he was going to choose this, That is over a $2,500 supply cost difference in just leather. And now let's get even more involved. He was super cool enough in the very beginning to send us photographs that are well lit, not blurry, easy to view of his vehicle's interior, which we rarely get things like that. Let me flip this camera back around. We rarely have customers send in pictures of their actual interior. They're usually sending it of like their wheels, them standing in front of the truck, um, all sorts of random crap. But he sent pictures of his interior. I loved seeing it. They were clear to see. They weren't blurry. Good, decent outside lighting or whatever. And that's a thing too. We were able to see condition. Can we think about the fact of like these people that send Google image screenshots? The interiors look mint, and then we get their parts for their appointment, and they're not even the ones from the picture. I use this as a reference because years ago this happened a couple of times I can remember. And then later, and I know they were Google images because then later down the road I'm trying to find something on Google, scrolling, and I'm like, holy shit, here's all the pictures that dude sent me, and the date on them was like 5 years ago. Um, that's how I learned some people do that, unless it's clearly a Google like web result page or whatever. But can you imagine me assuming a leather choice for for this active customer, and then not seeing good images of his interior, and let's say the condition of his parts were a lot worse, and in the video and because he sent a video too, in the video and pictures of his stuff, he did, let's say he didn't send that, and he just had a couple of random pictures, and it looked okay. I just assumed the condition, I assumed a material choice, and said, all right, cool, yeah, you're going to be looking at roughly 10 grand. That's an unrealistic price, by the way. Don't say take any price. That $2,500 price difference in material cost, that is real. But from here on out, any price I give is just fictional, just for the purpose of the video, easy numbers. So I could have said, okay, I'm going to assume the leather because based on his multiple examples that are different from one another, and assume condition off of one or two shitty pictures. Let's book your appointment now. It's going to be roughly 10 grand. And then I get his stuff. Now we have options. Option one is continue to assume, just do the job, hope to God he likes it, and if he doesn't, who's going to eat that? Probably me. If you just go and do whatever you want to a project without a customer confirming and then they dislike it, I mean, logic says, why would they pay for that? It's not even what they wanted. And the way people ask about prices is that's what they're expecting us to do. And I can't even make this stuff up. It's comments, emails, everything. Oh, just give me a rough idea on this because that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I won't do it because they don't want to work together. But when they do, then I realize, oh, they actually want stuff quite a bit different. What if I assumed? If he likes it at the end of the day, great, he'll pay for it. But if he don't, I'm probably going to eat that. But what if when I get those parts, the condition's a lot worse than the one or two shitty pictures he shared, which again, his pictures were great, but we're pretending. And then I assumed leather and just went ahead and used it. Just the condition by itself could be 20 additional hours of labor. There's another couple $1,000s right there. So it could be a $4,000 or $5,000 price difference from just not asking questions and him refusing to work with us to figure out what he wants. And now we have somebody that's extremely unhappy and angry. Reasonably so. But again, that's not what's happening here. But we're playing make-believe. And that's what everybody refuses to do, is to work with us in this process. And that's okay. If you don't want to work with us, we don't want to work with you. You can't answer questions. I can't help you. But I'm about to build, right after I film this video, an estimate tailored to this man's project. Moral of it, we don't assume what you want. We want you to choose what you want. We want to know for sure. Now, this guy might change leathers if he makes an appointment, he might change. Hey, I want a different leather. But you know what? At least we were able to give something that was very tailored to him at the very beginning. If you can't do that at the very beginning and then they show up and now you're choosing to do it, it could be a double the price or half the price, and now it's nothing but surprises, and that's what pisses people off. That's misleading, we would be lying to customers and trying to just get them in the door. Because what if he transports his vehicle here? There's a couple $1,000, or drives it here or ships the interior here, all the logistical costs of that. Then we get him here, give him an estimate, and it's like, oh, well, it's severely more than what I decided to give you for your vague pricing that you were dead set on when you were refusing to answer questions. Now he feels like I got him by the balls and that he's going to be forced to do it, and or he's just going to eat a bunch of money and go home. That's fucked up to do that to people. So again, I get worked up about this because there's so many morons out there that don't want to talk to us about their project to get an estimate, and then the other idiots in comments are like, well, if they don't share a price in the comments, that means it's a real fucking wild price. No, it's because that price that John paid yesterday is not going to be true for the price that that guy in the comment is asking for his project. It could be thousands of dollars different in just that little leather example. If I assumed what he wanted, his estimate would be approximately $2,500 more, which might exceed a budget that he has mentally in his head, and it might scare him away. And of course, these are things that we talk about with him as well, because we talk about stuff. But anyway, I could go on forever about it. It's a good example. You guys see that now. If you email us, send in a formal estimate request, first of all. That's our process. Formal estimate request right on our website. It literally couldn't be easier to do. We're going to work with you like we have been this guy, because that's what we do for every customer. And if you want to get some price that's not true to your project, I'd probably suggest calling somewhere else. But hopefully that's kind of shed some light and perspective on it. I might not have done the best example describing it, but the example itself was great, but I might not have done a great job trying to explain it. But hopefully some people picked up on it. But until next time, I got some other stuff here to show you guys later today.